Hello. So I'm Shari Myhill-Jones. I'm a registered nurse and a manager, I'm sorry to say, administrator, um, who is privileged to lead a team of dedicated clinicians at VCH Home Care, Primary Care Network, and the future Sunshine Coast Hospice. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I've called the Sunshine Coast home for almost 23 years, where I raised my 3 children. I began my career in long-term care, where as a new grad, I began providing end-of-life care on my first shift. We didn't call it palliative care, it was just part of our role. Death in long-term care was expected and inevitable, and sometimes celebrated. To be honest, it was a life well lived. I felt honored to play a role in supporting the client and their families during their last days. I made a move to VCH Community Health in 2014, where I found my home and my passion. I was delighted to learn of the both multidisciplinary team in community health, particularly the palliative resource nurse role. These nurses specialize in palliative care, supporting our team to provide exceptional palliative care to our community. May I introduce my colleague, Traci.
Thanks, Shari. As Shari said, yes, I am a palliative care resource nurse with Vancouver Coastal Health, and I've called the Sunshine Coast home for the last 2 years. Prior to that, I worked for the government of the Northwest Territories. Even though I now call BC my home, most of my nursing experience was with Alberta Health Services, where I worked to provide palliative care inside and outside of hospital settings. Now, we welcome everyone here today as we explore how palliative care supports individuals and families in our community with VCH standards.
So just press that. Oh. Next one. Okay, we thought we'd begin our presentation with a fun video that speaks to society's discomfort with the word palliative. And we will say palliative often in this presentation, so I'm hoping just through repetition that we'll have more comfort with this word.
Hi. We got a call that this house is on fire. How can we be helpful? Well, the house is on fire, but I'm worried if you go in there it might send the wrong message. Wait, what? I'm with the fire department. Yes, I know. I think you could be really helpful, but I think the family might be worried something is wrong if the fire department shows up at their house. But something is wrong. Their house is on fire. Do you think there's any way you could talk to them, but not use the word fire? What? I just think if the family hears the word fire, they might lose hope. But I am with the fire department and I am here to help this family with their fire. Right, totally. I think you could be really helpful, but I'm just not sure this family is in a place where they're ready to meet the fire department right now. Can we call you the water support team?
I particularly love that video because my dad's a retired Vancouver fireman, so I haven't showed it to him yet. I'm sure he would laugh. Yeah, what is palliative care? So palliative care is not just for end of life. It's about improving quality of life at any stage of an illness. Palliative care services provide physical and emotional support for the person and the people they wish to include in their journey. Beyond its emphasis on clinical symptom control, palliative care services create opportunities for people to realize their best possible quality of life. It's not just for end of life, it's about improving quality of life at any stage of illness. Most people nearing the end of life could benefit from palliative care. It helps reduce suffering and supports families. Research has shown that palliative care, when offered early, does not shorten life, but in fact extends it through good symptom management and support. Many of us believe that palliative care means less care, when in fact, it is active care, focusing on what matters most. VCH's vision for palliative care. At VCH, our vision for palliative care is to provide everyone on the Sunshine Coast with high quality, person-centered, and culturally safe care in the setting of their choice.
So VCH's standard, its first standard for palliative care is early identification. Now, it is crucial that we provide proactive care and that can improve quality of life by addressing the physical, psychosocial, and spiritual needs rather than just at the terminal phase. If we want to continue to use the house on fire analogy, it would be similar to activating when we hear the fire alarm, not waiting until we see the flames. Common signs we look for to identify
and with those they love. Transferring clients to hospital or hospice is disruptive and not necessary to ensure a peaceful and dignified death. Home. Here you see a beautiful Sunshine Coast home. In fact, I think it's Traci's. I think it's Traci's, yeah. Who wouldn't want to spend their last days here? A view of the ocean, the tranquility of the Sunshine Coast. So in home care, this is about caring for you in our home. This is your home. This is our gig. Most people I've asked identify home as where they want to die. It takes a village to support this goal. Part of the village can be VCH home care, which can provide you with assistance from nurses and community health workers who come into your home to provide individualized nursing and activities of daily support. We provide 7 days a week home care, after hours, telephone support for non-emergency needs. VCH also offers overnight care, respite for extended days to relieve caregivers. Daily in-home respite is also available. We offer supports from Port Mellon to Earls Cove. So please visit our information table. You may have seen it coming in. Vanessa, our nurse educator, is there to be able to provide you with more detailed information about the supports that are available.
Now, Shari, I know that we can joke about this because she's already said that I live here. Now, when looking at it, tell me, what are some of the problems that you can see about me aging in place in this home?
Stairs.
Yeah. Absolutely, the stairs. So that is one of the biggest problems that we find with a lot of the houses that are here on the Sunshine Coast are the stairs. As we age, the stairs can be very difficult to manage. Another thing you can, if you look at the top level, that's a bedroom. So one of the things to successfully age in place or palliate is having everything on one floor. So if we have a bathroom that includes a shower without a curb, one that we can walk into, that is wide enough so that you could get, if you needed a walker or a wheelchair, so the doors are at least 36 inches to get your walker, your wheelchair in. Also, toilet. How high is the toilet? Is one of those low ones that's really hard to get up off of, or is it one that is higher? And then where could you eat? Do you have access to cooking food on that floor as well? So if you can tailor your living spaces so that you can manage all on one level, that would be most ideal, especially at end of life.
What about the driveway?
Oh, the driveway. Okay, yeah. This is so getting up that driveway, getting in and out of your car, how are you going to get groceries? How are you going to get your food into your house? How are you going to get to your doctor's appointments? So these are really important things that we can think of ahead as we are aging so that we can stay in our home for as long as possible.
That's me again. Okay. So this is my favorite topic, and I think it goes back to Sian, your to what you speak of, the need for a supportive village. So wherever you're living, as you near the end of your life, having a supportive village of friends, families, neighbors will enhance your ability to choose the environment you wish to spend your last days. In addition to the VCH home care supports, having supportive village of friends, neighbors, and family is imperative to remaining in your home throughout your palliative journey. So it's really about, Sian, connecting the dots. So if we look at the slides, some of the often the supports you're going to need would be help with meal prep, getting out to get your groceries, a housekeeper, pet care. The pets are important to us, and people, I've noticed as a case manager, that's often a need that they have. A care advocate, support an end-of-life plan. Again, the connecting the dots. So I would love to do a Medtalks, Jane, just on caregiver support, because it is imperative, and my heart goes up to all of you today who are caregivers, and let you know just how much you're appreciated.
Now, I think in expanding on what Shari is saying, most of us can do anything for short term. So most of us, our loved one becomes ill, needs more support. I can do that for a week. I can do that for 2 weeks. I can do that for 3 weeks. I can probably do that for 3 months. But what if I have to do that for 6 months? What if I have to do that for a year? My children don't live close to me. Who is going to help me? And so that's when we start turning to our village. And so it's challenging to develop a village overnight. So we have to start curating our village over time. We have to start asking the important questions and letting our village know what is important to us. Plant those seeds ahead of time, not when you're in stress, but when you have time to talk and express what means a lot to you. Now, the Sechelt Hospital. A hospital mission may be necessary when we're on our journey at some time. And part of the care that the hospital can provide is for acute symptom management. So when we're talking about acute symptom management in palliative care, oftentimes we're talking about a pain crisis, or we're talking about nausea and vomiting that's not being controlled, or sometimes it's psychosocial, sometimes we're just the anxiety, the depression, these feelings are so heavy that we can't continue in our homes. So we go to the Sechelt Hospital, hopefully to have our medications tuned up so that we can return to the space that we have identified in our conversations where we wanted to be. Now, and sometimes that's our long-term care setting. That is our home. So sometimes we get a tune-up, we go back to long-term care. Sometimes we go to home, or sometimes we go to hospice. It's a great picture, Tess. So on the Sunshine Coast, if clients choose hospice setting for end-of-life care, it is provided currently at the Silverstone Care Center. Specialized care is provided 24 hours a day through an interdisciplinary team, including volunteers from the Sunshine Coast Hospice Society. Now, this will change in 2027 when the Mossy Rock Hospice is scheduled to open. The Mossy Rock Hospice is a hybrid partnership between VCH and the Sunshine Coast Hospice Society. Care will be provided by VCH staff with the support of hospice volunteers. The hospice will be comprised of 8 suites, which will double our capacity as we currently can house 4 people at Silverstone. So as you've probably heard, it's going to be located in Roberts Creek. And it is such an exciting project that so many people have worked long and hard to bring to fruition here on the Sunshine Coast. So standard 3 is care driven by a person's goals of care. Now, I know we've had Medtalks about advanced care planning. So Palliative care plans, and we're going to start early. So when we come to your house, we start talking about this on the first day. What are your wishes? What are your needs? What are your wants? So we tailor a plan which is built around an individual's priorities, which can include goals like prolonging life, curing disease, optimizing quality of life, or ensuring somebody's comfort. Now, everyone's goals are different. Some people want one last Christmas with their family, or some people want to attend their child's wedding, or some just want an assisted death as soon as possible. As care providers, we support a person's informed choice and work to provide care which aligns with their wants, wishes, needs, and desires, while supporting the people who care for them and love them most.
Part of expressing your priorities and your goals of care are recording them in the green sleeve. Now, I know we've had presentations where we've touched on this, but I thought it was worth visiting again briefly. So a completed green sleeve speaks for a person if they're too ill or injured to speak for themselves. Green sleeves should be brought to medical appointments or on a trip to a hospital. It should be kept safely at home or near the fridge where the paramedics and family know where to find it during an emergency. So the Sunshine Coast Hospice partners with those affected by life-changing diagnosis, providing free palliative, grief, loss, and advanced care planning programs, as well as educational resources. So as they also have a table out front, so please visit them.
Now, standard 4, quality clinical care. So symptom management is a big part of what we do, and it's almost the crux of all the things that we do. For some clients, our team will work with community physicians and pharmacies to get medications into the home over a long weekend, for instance, so that somebody can savor that piece of turkey or that piece of apple or pumpkin pie with their family. In palliative care, the success of care by the team is measured by a patient's ability to achieve their goals. So these are the goals that were set when they spoke with us at the beginning. These are goals that can change, that can evolve. This is why we ask to have these conversations early so that we can provide holistic evidence-based care.
When we speak about interdisciplinary teams, we are a collaborative group of professionals who work together to meet a person's identified goals. So family members and friends are an important part of this team, and they also provide care and alignment with what matters most to you. This team is only as strong as the communications between its members. Oftentimes, loved ones are the first to identify a need for a change in symptom management. An example would be you notice your loved one is confused, they're agitated. You would contact the nurse, who then would speak with the physician, who can make changes to the medications to improve pain management, quality of life.
So standard 6 is capacity building in non-specialized care settings. Now, it's important to note that palliative care can be given in all settings by an interdisciplinary team on the Sunshine Coast. Now, this is done through educational opportunities and mentorship to ensure culturally appropriate support for patients, families, and caregivers. The Sechelt Hospital Foundation provides opportunities like this one here today so that we all can learn from each other and learn together, so that everyone can have the best day possible while living with life-limiting illness. I would like to express my sincere gratitude today to the generous donors, some of them who are here today in the audience, who have provided equipment, educational opportunities, so that we can provide the best care possible here on the Sunshine Coast.
Culturally safe care is standard 7. Culturally safe care respects traditions, works to reduce health inequities. VCH emphasizes culturally sensitive care, which may include supporting traditional elders and knowledge keepers in acute and community settings. Services are delivered at home in hospices, hospitals, and outpatient clinics, and are tailored to meet the needs and wishes of the individual. So what is cultural safety? I asked myself. means creating spaces where everyone feels respected, valued, and free to be themselves without fear, discrimination, or judgment. For people who identify as LGBTQ2, this includes recognizing and honoring their diverse identities, experiences, and histories.
So B.J. Miller is a hospice and palliative medicine physician, author, speaker, who was profoundly impacted by an accident in his university years. I was looking for a video to end this presentation with, and my colleague Brad suggested Dr. Miller. As we all age and experience our own sustenance, there is hope in a life well lived and a legacy that we give through our connections and contributions. As a palliative care clinician, it is my hope that along with sucking the very marrow out of life, out of every moment that we experience, that we can plan to die well by having conversations while we are well and about what is most important to us.
So I have to say this morning when we were reviewing our presentation, Traci added the sucking marrow out of life, and because I'm her manager, I'm like, do you really want it? What do you mean by that, Traci? So Traci's going to explain.
Well, and I was, when you're eating bone marrow, you crack that bone open, and it's not it's not tidy. It is messy. You are sucking the very essence out of the nutrition, the best part, and that's what a lot of my patients are doing. They are living the best part of their life, and they want one moment more. They want another moment so they can enjoy more of what is best. I often say that lousy goes on forever and wonderful never lasts long enough. Some of our clients, they want more. They want the very best that life has to offer, and they're experiencing that. And we're here to partner with people to experience the very best of what life has to offer. Having somebody come to your house and saying the P word doesn't have to be the saddest time of your life. It can be time of reflection and of goal setting and of talking with your family about what they have meant to you and what you mean to them. Okay, here's Dr. B.J. Miller.
There are mountains of sorrow that cannot move, and one way or another, we will all kneel there. We can't solve for death. Now, parts of me died early on, and that's something we can all say one way or another. I got to redesign my life around this fact, and I tell you, it has been a liberation to realize you can always find a shock of beauty or meaning in what life you have left. Like that snowball lasting for a perfect moment, all the while melting away. If we love such moments ferociously, then maybe we can learn to live well, not in spite of death, but because of it. Let death be what takes us, not lack of imagination.